We'll turn our attention over to the 2027 and politics in Nigeria, analyzing the issue. Just yesterday, we saw another intriguing news from INEC, and also on the front pages of the newspaper this morning, where it says that INEC flags clashing names, irregularities, and 110 party registration requests. So, as Nigeria edges closer to the 2027 general election, the People's Democratic Party, PDP, says the common vote is shaping up to be more than a conventional contest between parties, but a referendum on the daily struggles of the Nigerian people. Now, politicians have already begun to shift and move grounds, as we have seen over time. Positions are gradually shifting, and politicians who have felt left out of the corridors of power by design or oversight are beginning to realign in terms of coalition, rekindle old alliances, or toot old buggles to rouse some awaiting political soldiers to arm. Yes, the most vital cog in this system, the people of Nigeria, the taxpayers, the electorate, have remained aloof as they have always done in the early stages when they should make it clear exactly what kind of leadership they want. I mean, what kind of leadership do you want as a Nigerian? Now, joining me this morning to look at all of this and more is Barrister Emmanuel Obakwalo. He is a political analyst and he joins us live this morning right here in the studio. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning. Good morning, Nigerians.
Good morning.
It seems the rain got nothing on you this morning.
Not at all.
Okay, so make it make sense what really is going on right now in the country, especially regarding the new intake of 110 political parties registration.
Yeah, to my mind, that figure is even small.
It's small.
Yes, to my mind. We are going to see or witness or experience a lot of drama at this epoch, because politics, they say, is a game of interest, and so even the ruling political party, the All Progressive Congress, would want to begin to sponsor persons both in and outside the existing political parties, and more so that we have witnessed a lot of chaos in some of the purportedly big parties, like the People's Democratic Party. You see, we have a lot of crisis there. That party is one that I can describe as the table standing with one leg just now. And when you go to Labour Party, from the outset of it, I do not believe that Labour Party was indeed a political party. I, for one, do not believe that. The reason being that the emergence and popularity of the then Labour Party, permit me, with all due respect to them, was the man called Peter Obi. Peter Obi, to my mind, was a character that the young minds, that is the youth, choose to identify with. And that identity brought Labour Party to prominence. And immediately the winner of that 2023 presidential election was announced, that the person of President Ahmed Bola Tinubu was announced. That declaration went straight into the spine of the youth, who were once slogans. The youth were slogans. How? The youth never wanted to participate in politics, either voting or to be participants, because they saw politics as a game of the old one, a game of those who have the money. And that is what the old horse political class have made the Nigerian politics to be. So the youth never are not interested in it. But the emergence of Peter Obi, the youth now picked interest. Say, okay, maybe this could be the ladder for us to get there. But immediately that did not happen, there was a slide. And now, INEC coming to tell us that we have already groups, because they are not yet political parties,
Right.
who want to be identified as political party upon registration. 110. The number is just too small. Like I did say, even the political party, the ruling political party, would want to be sponsoring different persons, all in the name of, so that they can get those who can counter the other political party. Like we are made to understand ADA. We have two identity already of ADA. So, and when you look at it, the acronym ADA, ADA, the one that the coalition group identify with is the All Democratic Alliance.
Right.
So we could have more. I will not also be surprised if we have APC. Maybe this time they will call it Assembled Persons Congress. I will not be surprised. All is to see that 2027 becomes so hot for those who the APC is now tagging, those who want to grab power. But they forgot that once upon a time they did grab power 2023, and they are still grabbing. They're not just grabbing, they are running. They grab and run. Now they are afraid, they are scared that some persons want to grab that same power just like they did. So we are going to witness a lot of drama.
Absolutely. A lot of things to actually look forward to in the year 2027. Now, regarding the ADA, or the All Democratic Alliance Party that we saw in the news a couple of days ago, it's interesting to see how the PDP came out to get themselves out of that particular boot, and they said they have nothing to do with that party. And we also did see some coalition personalities, I would love to tag them that way, saying we do not have any mouth or say in this, and we're also going to look forward to bringing our own coalition party out. Just yesterday, we saw our president in Lafia, Nasarawa State, where he said something regarding the coalition movement we've been saying so far, where he said that you should not be distracted or bothered with the coalition movement. He categorically called them internally displaced persons. What do you make out of that statement? Do you think the president is scared or he's bothered by the coalition movement?
In this, the kind of democracy we practice in Nigeria is one that those in power choose to use vulgar languages the way they like. And when other persons does emulate them, they will target hate speech. They may even target defamation, criminal defamation, not just defamation now, because defamation, to my mind, that I know, is civil, but they will target criminal defamation when others use that language. But when they use it, they feel that they are free like the bird in the air that can do whatsoever they want. It's unfortunate that the president make that kind of remark. It's very, very unfortunate. But the president forgot that between 2012, 2013, 2014, he was on the street also doing what these persons are doing now, trying to convince or confuse or both Nigerians to accept the merger of the then ACN and CPC and others, which now formed the All Progressive Congress. Now that they are in power, All Progressive Congress, I do not see how Nigeria and Nigerians have progressed. I do not see it. Save that the political class are the ones who are direct beneficiaries, and amazingly they have refused indirect beneficiary by Nigerians. They have refused Nigerian that, and I can describe that as the Machiavellian style of rulership, to the extent that now members, those the political class, they enjoy so much. We've seen how this government have plunged Nigeria into the sea of indebtedness. Everywhere you go, borrowing, loans. At times they will borrow in the name of Nigerians, and you begin to think that, is it that these persons do not have program, do not have a template before they came into power? That's what we begin to see. Because indeed, some will tell you, oh, the president has done so much. Like somebody said that the president has done extremely. I begin to wonder, the word extremely, do you know the meaning? When you say he has done extremely well, and yet there is no impact on Nigeria and Nigerians. So So we are going to witness more drama.
Right.
And what amazes me is that even INEC, who claims to be independent, is not seeing anything wrong with the activities just now. Because what the All Progressive Congress is doing just now is they've started campaign already. And we are not yet in the election period. So what is going on? And every opportunity the president has, or members of his kitchen cabinet have, they want to run down other political parties.
All right,
That is
sir.
just the start.
You said something earlier that what the president said, he wasn't supposed to say that. A lot of persons are saying that the president has done a lot, and you actually have not seen that a lot. Okay, the question now is, do you believe a unified opposition is possible between the ruling party, of course, the president, and other parties, like in the likes of Atiku, Peter Obi, and all of that?
To unify with the president?
Yes.
I do not see that happening. And if that happens, it is going to be a problem to Nigerians.
Oh.
Because once upon a time, when the People's Democratic Party was in power, we saw a merger by the ACN and CPC and others, like I did say earlier.
Okay.
So I think we need to see a repeat of that. That is the beauty of democracy, where we begin to see unification between the opposition and the ruling political party. That is detrimental to Nigerians. So, but I know we have also witnessed, and we will still witness more, decamping, defection, movement, exodus to the All Progressive Congress. But one thing they are not mindful of is that there is also going to be an implosion. I tell you this. So, if even members of the All Progressive Congress, we are made to understand by the coalition that are also members of the coalition. We are made to understand that. And though they will come and you will see denial and counter denial. But that was what we saw in 2014. We are still going to see a repeat in 2026 stroke 2027.
So you do not believe that anything can happen? The truth is, you know, we Nigerians, you're thinking, oh, some Nigerians, that the president has not done anything, you know, like you said earlier, that a lot of persons are saying the president has done a lot, but you are actually not seeing those things. So don't you think, you know, somebody said something that we would all be shocked and surprised that our president will win this coming election, despite all the efforts all the political parties, you know, are putting in right now, you know, trying to bring out other political parties for the INEC to register and all of that. You know, some persons were trying to say that, coupled to all those things that has been happening, the inflation and the economy and all of that, the prices of things in the markets, removal of fuel subsidy, with everything that have been happening, some persons, they know that all those things started while our president just, you know, like the first day he joined power, he came into power, that was when he removed fuel subsidy and all of that. And some persons are saying, despite all those things that have been happening, a lot of persons will still come out and will still want the president to win this coming 2027 election.
I, for one, will not be surprised if he wins. I will not be surprised. Before he became the president, he won against all odds. How? Political arithmetics, you may call it. Political somersaulting, you may choose to call it. Political bulldozer, you may choose to call it. But I think just now, what we need in Nigeria is to have a strong opposition. Whether anybody believes it or not, we need a strong opposition. Why? The strong opposition will keep the president on his toes to do the needful, to bring out policies that will impact Nigerians. I tell you for free, Nigerians are people who are very simple to rule or to lead, as the case may be. If the president does, his policies do affect Nigerians, I'm telling you, Nigerians will go to the polls and give him the vote. Nigerians will do that. Nigerians will be the one that will sing his praises.
But Nigerians just want the right thing.
Yeah, but here we have those who are in power and the ones singing their praises.
Wow.
That is the drama. That is the pain. If we can sing the praises of the president, you know that the president is going to have it on a platter of gold.
Yeah, sure.
But where we have the president singing his own praises And the people are groaning in pain. And now somebody is saying, oh, there is no need to have an opposition party. They are IDPs. No! We need that IDP, if it is. We need the IDP to oppose, to be a strong opposition party to the ruling political party. That is democracy. But where you render all opposition party handicapped, you render them redundant, and you now see it like an emperor, then there is bound to be a misrule.
So what you're trying to say now is democracy. We're not practicing democracy in
We
this
are not.
country.
We are not near it. We are practicing what I tag demo-military rule. That is what we are practicing in this part of the. Because you see draconian policies. For goodness sake, nobody, no sane Nigerian would say subsidy on petrol is okay. Nobody would say that. Because we have come to witness that some persons are just using that subsidy to enrich themselves.
Yes, exactly.
That's what we are made to understand.
Okay, so we're due for a break now. When we return, we'll talk about the implications of just new political parties or the registration of the new political parties moving forward. Please stay with us.
TMI, every opinion counts.
2027 and politics in Nigeria is our main focus this morning, analyzing the issue. And we still have our guest with us in the studio, Barrister Emmanuel Ogbapolo, doing justice to this conversation. But now we'll move over to look at the implications of all of the formation that we've seen so far of new political alliances, new political parties. I mean, the All Democratic Alliance, we saw that a couple of days ago. What do you think all of these things and all of those political alliances will have on the 2027 elections moving forward?
Well, it's the beauty of democracy. More alliance, more congresses, and more political parties, more groups. Like I did say from the outset, politics is a game of interest. But first, your interests must be in consonant to the welfare of the people. Where your interests supersedes the welfare of the people, you are bound to have a misrule. Then we cannot say that we are indeed practicing democracy. Because from the definition of democracy, we are made to understand that it's a government of the people. How? The people donate their power to a group of persons to now rule them. And where that rulership is now inflicting pain on that people or the people, it is no more a democracy. So, more drama, more assemblage, more disassociation, more political crisis, because many will be putting their interest forward over the welfare of the people. And you will begin to see criticism, counter-criticism.
Right.
Begin to see praises and counter praises.
Now, speaking about criticism, there are those who have actually questioned the intent of some of these persons that we have seen so far in our faces regarding politics and regarding 2027 election, likes of David Mark, likes of Rotimi Amechi, Atiku Abubakar, our very good friend Everfly. The list actually is endless. There are those who have said that some of these politicians are persons who have felt left out of power or out of the corridors of power. Some of them feel been cheated. So now the intention really counts in all of this, if I'm not mistaken. And how do you think it's going to also affect their own formation towards 2027 election?
Unfortunately, we have a political class in Nigeria who are interested in the projection of their interests as against the welfare of the people. Now, the persons you just listed or mentioned, rather, were pivotal to the emergence of the current president. Whether anybody believes it or not, whether the denier or counter-denier, we are aware of that. Now, they found out that they are not members of the cabinet, they now choose to go on their own way.
So it's safe to call them aggrieved people.
Yes. Whether and you see their remarks they are using. My worry is about their remarks, because to my mind they are bird of a feather. Nobody can dispute that. So, and they have so established themselves in the political strength of this country. That's why I did tell you that the youth saw a ladder they could use, and that ladder was the man called Peter Obi, but that did not materialize. And we saw the effect of that on the governorship election of 2023. Suddenly the thing dropped, and amazingly, even those who never thought of getting into political recognition, who used Labour Party to get there, they are all defecting now to join the old. So there's a strange marriage that is now taking place politically in Nigeria, and I will see the reign of that, more of it to take place.
All right.
They will come, they will present themselves, present their templates. We may be deceived or confused to receive it, but they have a target. That is the interest.
There's this particular political candidate. Okay, I'm going to say his name, Atiku Abubakar. You know, he has been he has been coming out for the role of the president for a very long time, and is either winning the vice president and all of that. You know, at this point, this point that we are in Nigeria, do you think Nigerians will want to like give him a chance? Okay, because this man has been contesting for a very long time, let's just try to give him a chance. You know, maybe if we should give him a chance at this point, things might get better.
Well, for now, we are not certain whether he is going to contest. We are not certain.
Yeah, that's true.
But if he does, I do not see him as the Messiah. Personally, I do not. I think we need a different face
Entirely
in Nigeria. And we need the young minds. How old is the president of France? The man is 40 plus. Why is it that we're having men who are 70, 80, 90? They will even go to swear affidavit and bring their age to 50. And we are seeing them physically, that this person is getting to 100. But yet the person is telling you that I'm 50 years old. Why all these lies?
But it doesn't only happen in Nigeria. Is it maybe
No.
an African thing?
Okay, it's an African thing.
Perhaps.
But even some of the African countries, like Cameroon, Pobiak, we are aware of his real age. He's 90 plus, I think 94, if my memory judges me correctly. The vice president of Uganda is 92, if my memory judges me correctly. They gave their actual age. But though they held on to power for so long. How old is the head of state of Burkina Faso, who many would argue that reincarnated Thomas Sankara,
Yeah.
the late Thomas Sankara? How old is he? How old am I? Do you know, in my secondary school days, I was told Vision 2020. What year are we now? Where is the vision? No vision. Oh, we are told in 1993, hope, Abiola then. Somebody came in 2023, in 1993, somebody came in 2023 and said renewed hope. But where is the hope? We are seeing despair, don't you think so? So, all of this drama we are seeing today is all about interest. The man called Atiku Abubakar has an interest. Buhari contested 4 times before he succeeded.
Yeah.
So let him go on if he chooses to. But let them make it, let the election be free, fair, and credible. If these men could allow the election to be free, fair, and credible, Nigerians know what they want. But where they choose to make it free, fair, but not credible, because we are going to see a lot of drama, there's already apprehension, even in the ruling political party.
Right.
That's why you're seeing all this defection. It's apprehensive. They are being apprehensive. Forget what they are telling me and you. We see apprehension. And I repeat, there is going to be an implosion, whether they believe it or not. Because all the persons coming in now, like in Delta, those who ran away with the governor and the former governor, many of them have returned back to the People's Democratic Party. Because they are going to queue behind those they met. So a game of interest. What do we do? Let's go back to where we are coming. Some left Sudan but they are back to Sodom. So we are going to see it in 2027.
Right. A lot of things actually to unpack here. But let's talk about the ruling All Progressive Congress, the ruling party. Do you think they have something going on, a political rivalry, just a maybe? Because on the other hand, regarding the 2027 election, there's also the conversation of who is going to be the running mate of our president, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, shockingly. And last week we saw a video where the vice president, Kashim Shettima, ignored, or I don't know if snob is the right word to use, to the APC national chairman, Gandoje, right there in Benue State. So now the big question is what really is going on? And the issue of who is going to contest or run with the president, should that be our main focus at this point? What do you think is going to happen? Do you think Shettima is going to move forward with President Tinubu, or maybe he's going to pick up another person? Should that even be the conversation now?
Absolutely not. But this is Nigeria, what they call democracy. And if you look at the character of the president, when he was the governor, how many deputies did he use? He did not use one deputy. So that is the implosion we are talking about. The implosion has not started, but we are beginning to experience atom of it. We are beginning to see that, there's a glimpse. This thing certainly will come to pass. This thing is imminent. So, but they themselves think it won't happen like that. And I think that they don't need to think that it should happen like that. So that by the time it does happen, it will sweep them off their foot. Now, when you look, we've seen names have emerged. We even saw the former speaker, I guess, Dogara, the political class of the Northeast is saying Dogara. Some are standing that it must be Shettima.
Right.
Some are mentioning other names. So, but then, the most important thing is, what is the demeanor of the president? What is his character? When he was a governor, how did he govern? How many deputies did he use? Can that be reflected in 2027? Why suddenly the abandonment of the Muslim candidate as it were in 2023? Why the sudden change? These are questions begging for answers.
Do you think it's a political strategy?
They will tell you and me that it's political strategy. They will even tell you that it's political arithmetics. But I see it as political crash. Because the president also has his loyalists. And once he is asked to step down, what happens to him and his loyalists? They also shift attention. Maybe the president is also, the vice president rather, is also planning to register his own political party. You see, we are going to witness a lot in this country. And Nigerians will just, and one beauty about all this drama is that Nigerians are very calm. Nigerians are just watching at them. The only thing Nigerians now, I think Nigerians need mostly from the president and his party is give Nigeria security.
Right.
Exactly.
Guarantee us our welfare.
Yeah.
Nigerians are people who hustle. They were quotes now. Nigerians struggle. Nigerians don't give a damn about you. Just give us security and give us little infrastructure. They made the economy to be balanced.
You know, talking about security, it has been like a major problem in the country currently. So like you said, give Nigerians security and we're okay. So you think in this coming 2027 election, if our president currently, the ruling president currently wins the 2027 coming election, you know, because we have been fighting and battling the issue of insecurity, do you think it's going to be like, there would actually going to be like a change or something?
I don't think so.
Talking about the security aspect.
I don't think so. For goodness sake, and in fairness to all and to my very self, this president does not have the capacity to give Nigeria security.
Are you serious?
Yes, he doesn't have. Look at, one, the members of his cabinet. Let me talk a little digression. Okay. When then President Muhammadu Buhari emerged, we thought a retired general, he should have the military or the security architecture rather to safeguard lives and properties of Nigeria, as encapsulated in section 14 subsection 2A of of the constitution. We thought that. But the man came and played a game of ethnicity. The man did not even know what was going on. When some of us will make the complaint, he say, oh no, you shut up, you don't talk. The president is in charge.
Yeah.
But we saw that he was not in charge. That now metamorphosed into the current administration. We have, you can imagine when the president got to Benue, the president asked a question that I would have asked that question. Why is it that nobody has been arrested? For goodness sake, he is the commander-in-chief.
Exactly.
Why is he asking that question? Is the commander-in-chief only entitled that you put agbada and cap on? Why is he asking that question? Then the military president left Benue. 2 days later, we were told that 22 people have been arrested.
Yeah.
You see the drama. To tell you that these men are not bothered with what happens to Nigeria. Their interest is they want to remain in power. So why will you not think that this president 2027 cannot guarantee my safety in my own country? No, he will not.
Wow.
Interestingly, a lot of things to talk about and on wrap, I would say. But let's quickly go off on another break. When we return, we'll move over to talk about governance and how it affects you. Please stay.
TMI, every opinion counts.
Well, if you're just joining, you're onto This Morning on ITV, and we have been analyzing the issues regarding 2027, interestingly, here in 2025, and of course, politics in Nigeria. Now, to look at this issue and more from another perspective, we have Ibrahim Momor, a political analyst, joining now in the studio. Good morning, and good to see you.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Okay, so there have been those group of persons, or there are those who actually say that Nigerian politicians are shifting away from the main focus, which is governance, of which that's why they're already in power at this point. One of which recently was Dixon Siraki, a senator right there in the Red Chamber. And he said that we are moving away from the important key issues regarding governance, security, providing the basic amenities for an average Nigerian to thrive, as against politics in 2027. And it seems that all our attention right now is geared towards the 2027 general election. Are you in support of this?
Yes, thank you very much. I'd like to say that I entirely agree with former Governor Serake Dixon and Senator because what we see in Nigeria is that the moment an election ends, it appears that the next round of elections, campaigning or driving towards the next election is already afoot. You can see that even though it's 2 years before the next election, we're seeing all manners of shenanigans, all manners of defections, all manners of realignments, and all manners of campaignings already in full swing. And so I kind of agree with Serake Dixon on the opinion that that appears that what is important is being put on the side. Without talking about the level of insecurity in the country, government, it's not government business to feed the people, it's not government business to clothe them or house them. Or sometimes people often rely on private education, so it's not even government's duty to educate all its citizens. But one thing the government owes the people is security. And then, of course, in Nigeria, you cannot hold firearms without the authority, without authority by the same government. I don't own any weapon. For example, because I don't have a permission to do that. But it is a explicit preserve of government provide security for lives and property of citizens. It's also government business to govern. Because we didn't elect our leaders across board, from the president to the governors to the local government chairman, and of course the legislators at all levels too, just so that they do nothing, or just so that they do politicking all year round. No, we elected them to to do for us those things, in the conception of the origin of the state, to do for us those things that we cannot do for ourselves. For example, the issue of infrastructure, power, among others. These are core governance issues. These are the purpose of which we were elected in the first instance, and the failure, to focus or pivot on some of these issues is I think at the center of what Serake Dixon was talking about. So I agree with him entirely.
Now, what role do you think the citizens have to play in shaping the direction of the country through their votes in 2027 election?
In fact, that is the critical. You see, in the electoral process, in the political process, there are an array of stakeholders. You have the electoral umpire, the election management body, in this case INEC, or FCEC, as the case may be. You have the security services, police, as the ones who are providing security for the ballot. You have the media, doing coverage. You have the civil society who are to observe. You have all political parties themselves whose duty is to bring up candidates. You have the politicians themselves. But in every electoral process, in every political process, the critical stakeholder is the electorate, the citizens. Imagine if you have all of that stakeholders in an election and no voter comes out to vote. There can't be a result because the voter, that's how important the voter is. But the average Nigerian voter, with all due respect, I'm one, is now very adept, now very good at, is the issue of complaining rather than taking action. In fact, my uncle, Jantara, used to hold the view that the most important office in the land is the office of the citizen of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, because he is the one who elects every other person. Those who are holding positions are holding positions because the citizens elected them. So that is the most important office in the land. But the irony is that the citizen himself or herself is not even aware of the pivot of how important he is or she is in the electoral process.
Okay, you said something about citizens complaining instead of taking action.
Yeah, I'm going to address that point. I'm going to address that because, you see, there's only one time a citizen can make a difference. It is on election day.
Oh, okay.
But you see that Nigeria are so good at complaining. We'll complain for 3 years, 11 months, 29 days about bad governance. The day we have a chance to do something about it, what the citizen does is either he is not voting. In Nigeria, the total number of registered voters are over 93 million people. In the last general elections, less than 28 million people came out to vote. What happened? You have been complaining about bad governance, lack of infrastructure, insecurity, but the day you have a chance to elect those who will resolve these challenges, you come out to vote.
Sorry, let me quickly trip in. You said something about not all Nigerians come out to vote. Yes. I feel most of these Nigerians, I've heard them say, most of them, even if we come out to vote, our vote do not count. So what's the essence? Why do we still need to come out to vote?
You see, that's one of the, with all due respect, the worst thinking anybody can have. That our votes don't count. Bad people want to rig elections. They don't even want you to come out. That's how they can rig elections. If the voters, every voter, registered voter comes out to vote, the chances of electoral malpractice, of electoral malfeasance, of people rigging elections, ballot stuffing and the rest, or manipulating of figures is zero. Almost zero at least.
Sorry, I want to dive into the insecurity aspect. Don't you think people are scared? Coupled to the fact of election, there's some period of election, like the last election, some poll centers, the election is going on smoothly. All of a sudden, you see fight from nowhere starts, and people are scared. Don't you think people are scared of their lives? Sorry, the reason why I said that, I remember when I was growing up, before I joined the media setting, my mom would never want me to go out because she's always scared with the fights, killings, what's going to happen and stuff like that. When I came to, when I joined the media stuff, even though she told me, please, today's election, stay at home, this, that, but of course I'm a media person, I want to go out. Don't you think people are also scared of their life?
Yeah.
In a country where, security is supposed to be like the major thing. You're going out to vote. You're not supposed to be scared that what if something happened? What if a fight happened? What if this happened? Am I going to be safe? Am I going to be this? People are scared of going out to vote. Don't you think about that?
Yes. The feeling of fear is innate in everybody. We fear one thing or the other. People even fear. But if we live our life based on fear, you will not even go to school because they are called killings.
Yeah, that's
they are in university, for example. There are fights among, so insecurity, fears are generally something that are. But the thing is that since you have come out to vote, you can tell your mom you have not witnessed any violence. You are still here strong. That's one. Secondly, is that The reason why insecurity happens, in my opinion, are two. Number one is that people are afraid of the unknown.
Yeah.
Yeah, afraid of the unknown. It could happen. That's why it empowers those who want to make the electoral process secure. Second element of that point is that in our electoral laws, the Electoral Act 2022 and the precursors to the Act 2022 Electoral Act, everywhere there's electoral violence, the elections in that polling unit is cancelled. Okay. So those and even the urge to even engage in electoral mal, I think the only thing that people can do nowadays is that if for example you are strong in the party, if your party A is strong in the particular location, ordinarily they are on ground if you want to use political language, and then because of the fact that they are losing, what they can do is to do kind of destroy the ballot box so that the elections that was done in that place does not count, or it should be redone when they can regroup. But the fact that the whole purpose of election is to win. So when people are afraid of electoral violence and they don't come out as a result of that, they are only empowering those who don't want to get to power. I think that it's not a valid reason. I have voted since I was 18. I have voted in every election.
Okay.
Every election, and I hear of violence. Even I have seen violence, but it has not affected me because I know that it is my vote that will make a difference. And let me just make one last point. And it is that about the citizen, because that was the caucus I actually wanted to address. You know, the citizen, when they don't come out to vote, they are empowering those who don't want to vote. And when they come out to vote, the reason why a majority of people who are voting is because of the pittance they get. 5,000 more or less that they get, that's how they vote. And you say, I've seen someone there, that's the only time we feel government, we can get it from government. Let us correct it now. But the reality is that our vote is very important. In fact, if it is not important, nobody will pay me for a job if it's not valuable. That vote is very important. And the value of a vote in Nigeria is not 5,000. I'm against vote buying. But the value of a vote in Nigeria is not 5,000. It is as much as 3,360,000, and that's how valuable a vote is. How do I come about that figure? You see, in Nigeria, the people who are contesting for election are going for a 4-year term, 48 months. Mm-hmm. And the minimum wage in Nigeria is 70,000 naira. If you multiply 70,000 naira by 48, you're going to get 3,360,000. That's how valuable our vote is. So if you are going to say, I'm against vote buying, but if you are going to sell your vote, you are a vote seller. Please, at least, get your full value, at least minimum value for the vote. But nobody will pay you 3 million plus for a vote. Nobody will pay for yourself. Why are you not selling your vote?
Okay, so still hampering on stomach infrastructure. Moving back to you, Barrister Emmanuel, and the current economic hardship in the country, because a lot of Nigerians are suffering. I mean, a lot of Nigerians are not even interested in politics at this point. All they just want to do is how to eat and get their 3 square meal and ensure that your family is all put together. So the current economic hardship in the country is biting really hard. How do you think it's going to impact in the 2027 election? And what are the solutions you're also proposing to address basic issues?
To my mind, it's a political scheme by the political class, particularly the ruling party. The Machiavellian style of rulership is that you impoverish the people. You make the people redundant. You make them incapacitated. Then you rule. Now, when you look at what is happening in Nigeria, like my big brother here is talking about the people. Indeed, all power is resident in the people.
Right.
Because the people donate their power at the election to those who govern them. But we have artificial insecurity caused by the political class. The insecurity we have today in Nigeria is artificial. It's a deliberate, calculated one to put the people at abeyance so that they can have a smooth sail to where they are going to.
But why would anybody want to lay down lives of a lot of persons?
Desperacy to power. Desperacy to power. If it is not me, it should not be any person. 3-point agenda, me, myself and I, me, my wife and children. That is what we see among the political class. So their agenda is to grab power at all costs. And you begin to see, why will somebody, for goodness sake, go and get dogs? You come and disrupt an election because you think candidate A has a stronghold in that polling unit. Why? Can a reasonable man do that? But because of the desperacy, we say them do that. Now, talking of the hardship, when there is hardship, see, we may preach from now till 2027 that nobody should go out and take money or sell your vote. We'll still have it. We'll still have it. As we are talking just now, some persons are not even sure of a cup of water to drink or a glass of water to drink. Today, they are not sure. There are villages, I've traveled wide, there are villages you don't have pipe water. And here we are. Those in power now have abandoned governance. You can see that we are now talking about 2027 at the middle of 2025. Is that not shameful? Instead of talking of how we can make out policies that will impact on the economy, that will in turn affect the people, we are talking of 2027. And when you now come out to say, somebody say, oh, why are you talking like that? See, those in government should know that they have a social responsibility. It's a social contract between them and the people. They should ensure that that which they promise the people, they do it for the people.
Absolutely.
Like I said earlier on, I did say that Nigerians don't want much from the political class. What Nigerians want, give us, guarantee our security, little infrastructure. Nigerians in our local palace now, we hustle to survive.
Yeah.
Nigerians are people who go to the street, to the roads now, despite the rains. When I was coming, I still saw some persons holding can of mineral, can of water, still selling on the road. Then if a man that can take that risk, even with the rain, drenched in the rain, and still try to see how he can survive, do you think that man needs so much from you? Don't guarantee the security of that man. So our leaders should, one, there's a germane issue here.
Right.
Security of the people, welfare of the people. They should guarantee that for us.
Absolutely. A lot of things to talk about, and always an unending conversation on This Morning on ITV. And just as we have said, it's all about you. And also, you should be aware that you have a major role to play in all of this. So we have been speaking to Barrister Emmanuel Ogbakolo, a political analyst. Thank you so much for coming on board today.
Thank you.
And also, Barrister, we call you Barrister now. Ibrahim
No,
Momo.
it's Chief.
Chief. Oh, okay. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me.